Alright, what's up you guys? Welcome to another Shark News Extra episode, as today we're going to be talking about some cool updates in regards to the revamped version of the mask property, which was released by the loyal subjects, as the link will be provided in the description below, as these were questions given by fans to the creators of the mask property involving upcoming figures and what to expect in the future. And these were questions posted throughout their different socials like Instagram and Facebook. And like I mentioned before, I will post a link in the description below if you want to check it out and read other collectors' comments and what to kind of expect moving forward with this line, because we know that they did a revamp slightly to the mask property, which was a beloved 80s property to those who enjoyed watching the cartoon and collecting the old figures. So the new figures kind of have slightly more articulation and, you know, the vac metal onto the vehicles, which added a great incentive. Now, I've already done 2 videos of these figure reveals on the channel, as I've talked about Wave 1 already, and I've also talked about the 40th anniversary, which goes into the black and gold aesthetic on the vehicles and characters. So the first question we have here is, are you planning to release Boulder Hill in 2026? Now, with Wave 1 that just came out, there was only 4 figures and 4 vehicles, right? So if for those that don't know or haven't seen the actual cartoon, Boulder Hill is actually their headquarters in which the characters summon to the round table, and the masks drop down from the ceiling, no pun intended, and it kind of disguises itself as a gas station. And they put the masks over their original outfits. So, and it's also a very popular playset within the 80s that a lot of collectors love to have, or also probably have bought back then. So the answer to this particular question, because again, it is a playset and it's a headquarters to the specific mask characters and vehicles, the answer to this is our main focus in 2026 is expanding the line with more vehicles and characters that fans love. While Boulder Hill isn't currently on the schedule, we're not ruling anything out. So it seems like in 2026 we will not be getting a Boulder Hill anytime soon, but of course it could change, but it seems very unlikely, because if you guys have kept up to date with the mask property, especially the loyal subjects versions, there are some slight issues in the sense of they don't have the right license of certain characters or certain names, which is why the packaging is also slightly different in terms of the names that they used. So if you guys have attended San Diego Comic-Con of this year of 2025, they did reveal 2 teases, which we know is going to be the Hurricane that comes with the character Hando Mclain, and then the Jackhammer that comes with the character Dagger. So those are 2 teases that we know at the moment, but at least we know that, you know, if you have seen the cartoon, you know that the mask property has a lot of characters, so I guess they want to dive into the characters first rather than doing a playset right in the beginning. So that's pretty cool. But so at least we know that it's coming at some point, but not in 2026. Question number 2 says, do you plan on to release T-Bob and Scott separately at some point? Now, T-Bob and Scott were 2 characters, which is Matt Trakker's son and the robot that assists Scott in all of his missions. They were included in the exclusive versions or limited releases or whatever. And you know, they were included in like a bundle, you know, with the Rhino vehicle. So what that comes with Bruce Sato and Matt Trakker. So collectors want to know, where are we going to be getting those 2 figures separately? Now, I didn't know that there's actually a demand for T-Bob and Scott, but I guess it makes sense because they don't come by themselves, they just come with the vehicles. So the answer to this is, if there's enough fan demand, we definitely consider it. We definitely want to honor the first release and all the fans that picked it up, but we are thinking about other ways to get Scott and T-Bob out. Let us know what ways you'd like to see in the comments below. So, like they mentioned before, they're not ruling anything out. and I'm pretty sure, just like me, they're just as shocked knowing that T-Bob and Scott have some sort of popularity in the sense of wanting a single release. But I also do understand why, because again, they were included in a bundle rather than being separate characters, which again makes sense, because I believe if they were to be separate characters or separate releases, they may have not sold as much. So the only way to get it is to buy the Rhino figure with Matt Trakker and Bruce Sato. So yeah, we can expect them at some point. The next question is, will the next phase include more than 4 releases? So like I mentioned before, Wave 1 had 4 characters, which, you know, we got Matt Trakker, and then Miles Mayhem, and then Brad Turner, and then the Rhino with Bruce Sato and Matt Trakker again. So with those, and those are the 4 iconic characters and vehicles as well. And like I mentioned a little bit earlier as well, that at San Diego Comic-Con we were given teases for Hando Mclain and Dagger. So let's see. So will Wave 2 have more figures? Let's see what they have to answer. It says the next wave will definitely include 4 vehicles, but beyond that, stay tuned, we're always planning. So since we've just talked about 2 of the teases, who knows what the other 2 vehicles will be. A lot of people are hoping it's Gloria, or, you know, again, there's so many other characters, and probably the Shark, etc., etc. So I guess we'll have to wait and see, but at least at the moment we know at least 2 out of the 4 for these vehicles. Next, it says, question, us fans would like to know 2 things. Will we get an official Shark and Gloria? There we go. And will we have any new vehicle designs moving forward? The answer to this is you can definitely expect new and exciting additions to the line. So that's freaking awesome. So we know that they're going to be implementing new vehicles at some point. And the first 2 waves will be focused on classic favorites, but the road ahead is wide open. So that's pretty cool. At least with the first wave giving us classic vehicles and characters, Wave 2 will definitely give us more classic characters and vehicles. So that's another thing to look forward to. So that's good. At least they aren't just giving us the figures that were already released in the 80s, but they're also expanding it with more new characters. And I'm not too sure if they've created every single character or every vehicle at that time, but it's good to know at least we will be seeing some more stuff in the future. Now here's the big question. It says, many of us fans have wanted modern mask figures and vehicles for so long. What inspired you to decide to take on this, and how excited are you to get these things into the hands of collectors? Now, there's 2 ways to look at this question, because one is, when you want modern mask figures, that basically means updated versions. Now, even though the loyal subjects did recreate the figures with better detail and articulation, but the articulation only goes up to the knees. There's no elbow articulation, and I would have loved like a waist swivel or something, but again, they wanted to pay homage to the old original versions, but they didn't really do that. So I assumed that just like how we have G.I. Joe figures, like the old O-ring 3-inch figures, that these mask figures will have more articulation, but again, they didn't necessarily do that. And then because in today's modern world, we are in the aesthetic of 6-inch figures, so everybody is wanting to have a mask property within 6-inch scale, but because we've seen how popular G.I. Joe Classified has been, so will we get 6-inch versions of mask? Nobody knows, but for now we're obviously staying true to the form of the classic versions. And the answer to this particular question is, honestly, we're collectors too. That passion is what fueled this. The opportunity aligned perfectly, and we knew we had to jump on it. Getting these into fans' hands is what it's all about. So they're just excited. It's cool. And that was pretty much the last question. So yeah, other than that, we know 2 vehicles out of the 4 for at least next year. Or unless, I mean, we're only in August right now, and there's 5 months away from concluding 2025. So maybe 2025 will only just have these 4 figures, and then we won't have anything else revealed later this year. I'm not sure. But for 2026, at least we know there's more waves coming and more new vehicles and etc. So let me know down in the comments below what you think about this information. I'll definitely have the link in the description below, so make sure you check that out and read other collectors' comments too, and see if you guys are all on the same page. So with that said, I want to thank you guys all for watching. Be sure to give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode.